Big Rich from Blue Blood TV. Hey, Devin, do you think you would be a better fighter at 140 and you could hit harder at 140? Because you're already the best at 135. Can't nobody touch you no matter what they say. But at 140, would you be a better fighter?
Yeah, I mean, I think my body would be able to. My body would to relax more. I'll have more in my tank. Being at 140. Like I said, I gotta push myself during training camp. It's hard for me to even take one day off because I'm focusing on my weight and focusing on being disciplined. So I think at 140 I'll be even better.
Here he is, the undisputed lightweight champion of the world, Devin Haney.
Top man is still here. I thought you guys had left.
We're not going anywhere, Bill.
Appreciate the opportunity. And still.
Where's Devin?
So now we kick things off for opening comment with the undisputed lightweight champion of the world, Devin Haney.
Yeah, I just want to say alhamdulillah, thank you Allah for this opportunity. This is all a dream come true. I always dreamed of being on this big stage and just being in big fights and fighting the best fighters in the world. And that's what I did tonight. I proved myself, and it feels surreal. All of this is surreal, but I worked hard for this since I was 7 years old. I put my all into this, and it's a blessing that everything has come full circle for me.
And before we get to questions from the media, I want to kick it over to Devin's head trainer and father, Bill Haney.
Takbir! 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 All praises due to Allah. This has been a tremendous night, a great event. Thank you to Bob Arum. Thank you to Jeremy Kriegel, John Hornhuer, all the guys that were behind the scenes that made this thing happen. It's been 4 years in the making. Shout out to Lomachenko and Team Lomachenko, a tremendous champion, a hell of a father and son duo. But tonight was our night, so I want to give a shout out to them and thank them. He's a hell of a champion and a future Hall of Famer. But tonight, one star has set and one star has risen, and I'm happy to say that the king of the boxing is here. It's Devin Haney. In the words of Teddy Atlas, who told Timothy Bradley one time, "You got to be a fireman and you got to go through the fire." And that's just what Devin did. He showed his versatility. He fought the fight that the people wanted to see. Of course, he could have been on his back foot and jabbed and made it a strategy kind of night. But I think he took it to him, man, and I couldn't be no more proud of him.
Thank you, Bill. And now we're going to kick things over to the media for questions. Mike, over on the left.
Mike Hoppinger, ESPN. Devin, congratulations on a great victory.
Thank you.
I know it was an unpopular decision for some, but for me, you did amazing body work, and I don't know if a lot of people recognize that. How big do you think the body work was in this fight? Because it looked like Lomachenko's left flank was really red, and that you were digging those right hands in.
Yeah, the body work is what won me to fight tonight. I knew that I had to invest in that body. We watched a lot of tape on Loma. We knew that he wasn't the biggest fan of body shots, so I stuck to the game plan. Was breaking him down, and that's why I felt like he was fighting in spurts. He would have some good moments during the round, but he wasn't finishing the whole round strong because me invested in the body.
Yeah, and were you worried at all about the decision, or were you pretty confident when you went back to the stool at the end that you won the fight?
Yeah, I mean, I knew that it was a good fight. I was definitely confident that I won the fight, but I knew that it was a close fight. Of course, he won rounds. I knew going into the fight that it wouldn't be an easy fight. I had to go through the fire to win. I knew Loma is a crafty veteran, and I couldn't just go in there and just jab and, move around and use my distance. I knew that I had to, take it to him and fight a fight that you guys haven't seen me ever fight before, and I felt like that's what I did tonight. And me being a fighter, me saying that I'm #1 pound for pound. Some fights, not every fight is going to be pretty. Some fights you got to show, versatility and different styles, and that's what's good about me is I could go through the fire, I can box, I can jab, I can invest in the body. I just show that, me being a young vet in the game at 24 years old, that I have experience in that ring.
And lastly for me, I know 135, you've been making it for a long, long time, since you're 16 years old. Do you see yourself pursuing a rematch with Lomachenko next, or are you trying to move on?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of big fights in the 135 pound division. We just got to see what's next. Obviously, every time no weight cut for me at 135 is easy. It takes a lot of discipline. I'm huge for the weight. I've been at 135 since I was 7 years old. So I'm just gonna go back and talk to my team and we'll see what's next. Maybe we do a fight at 140 and see how I feel. And keep the belts at 135 and come back at 135 and defend against a fight that makes sense. Or we'll just see. We might just stay at 135 and if everything makes sense, then we'll defend at 135. But I proved myself tonight against a future Hall of Famer that I'm the guy in the weight class. So it's like, how much more do you guys want me to prove? It's like you guys want me to keep proving until I can't prove anymore. I've been at 135 since I was 16 years old. I think we just got to see what's next, but eventually I'm gonna move up.
To your right, Devin. To your right. In reference to what you just said, do you feel like win or lose tonight against Loma that you took yourself up because this was by far the best opponent that you have faced in your career, and you put a great performance on? And so, do you feel like you made yourself at a higher level given who you beat relative to in the past?
Yes, of course. I fought by far the toughest competitor, a future Hall of Famer. I fought a different fight than you guys ever saw me fight. I took it to him, bested the body, hurt him to the body, showed my versatility in the ring. I feel like I've definitely, proved myself in that I am one of the best fighters in the world. And I feel like I'm #1 pound for pound with the type of performance I did against, at one point, the guy who was #1 pound for pound.
The other question I just wanted to ask you really quickly, I know punch stats don't mean a whole lot, but the stats were very close and punches landed. 5 rounds you outlanded him, 5 rounds Lomachenko outlanded you, and there were 2 that were even. So the fight was very close. Did you feel like you had to go out and win the 12th round to put a point on it that you won?
No, not necessarily. I knew that the fight was close, but I wanted to win every round. It wasn't just the 12th round where I felt like, I needed to win the round to win the fight. I knew that it was a close fight, so every round I was trying to win. I wanted to win every round. I didn't want to, it wasn't the 12th round that really made me feel like I needed to win the fight. It was every round.
Andreas for Sport News. Devin, congratulations. The first question I have is the push at the weigh-in. A lot of people were very critical of that. They said that maybe he got into your head. Can you talk about what was behind that push, and did the fight play out the way that you wanted it to following that?
Yeah, I mean, it's boxing, at the end of the day. It's a lot of emotion that goes on in the sport of boxing. I have nothing against Lomachenko. I take my hat off to him. I thank him for the opportunity. We put on a great fight for the fans. I have nothing but respect for him, his father, his whole team. So it was nothing disrespectful. It just was a lot of emotion built up. That's all.
One more for me. Shakur Stevenson is the one person who continues to say your name. He got into the ring and you guys exchanged some words. What was said there, and do you see you and him crossing paths at some point?
Yeah, I just said that I'm number one. I just let him know that I'm number one, and that's what he said for now. But right now I'm number one. So I didn't.
Bob ain't said his name.
I didn't. Yeah, Bob hasn't said his name at all.
Bob ain't said his name. My phone ain't ringing.
But what's the name? Of course, I've been very vocal about that. Me and Shakur are on a collision course. Whether it's at 135, whether it's at 140, whether it's at 147, we definitely on a collision course, and we definitely gonna get it on when the time is right.
Devin, Congratulations. I have a question. Given everything you go through to make 135, which you've admitted, short of a fight against one of those names you mentioned, or Tank Davis or Shakur, if those fights are not possible, would you be more inclined just to move up to 140?
Yeah, you know, if I can't get those fights next, or it doesn't make sense for it to be next, I'll probably go to 140, test it out, see how I feel at the weight at 140, and then when the time is right, then I'll defend my belt at 135. We'll just see though. I got to go back and talk with the team and see what makes the most sense. That's really all it boils down to. I'm very disciplined in the sport of boxing, in life in general. So that's how I've been able to make 135 for so long. But eventually, I'm gonna outgrow the weight, and it's getting to that point. But if it makes sense, it makes sense.
Devin, first of all, great fight. And let me ask you this with all my respect. What can you tell about the people's reaction? Because the people start yelling that Loma wins the fight. So the people knows boxing. And with all my respect, what can you tell about the people's reaction?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the people can say what they want to say. The judges had a unanimous decision, and that's that's all that matters is the judges. That's right. Each judge was on the same page when it came to that decision. So I got the victory.
Hey, Big Rich for Blue Blood TV. Hey, Devin, do you think you would be a better fighter at 140 and you could hit harder at 140? Because you're already the best at 135. Can't nobody touch you no matter what they say.
Yes,
but at 140, would you be a better fighter?
Yeah, I mean, I think my body would be able to. My body would relax more. I'll have more in my tank. Being at 140. Like I said, I gotta push myself during training camp. It's hard for me to even take one day off because I'm focusing on my weight and focusing on being disciplined. So I think at 140 I'll be even better.
One more for Sean over there.
Hey, congratulations, Devin, on retaining the titles, man. Team Gervonta Davis, because everyone talks about you and Davis fighting. That you got all the titles, you're the champ of the division, but they talk about being a draw too, to make a fight happen. We didn't get the pay-per-view numbers yet, but the fight was sold out tonight. It was a great crowd. Do you feel like you answered the call when it comes on that aspect? And what do you think of that fight with Gervonta Davis, just in general?
Yeah, I mean the numbers. I know when the numbers come out, the numbers did very well. Gate did very well. I proved that I'm a draw in the sport of boxing. I proved that the people want to see me. They come out, they support, and me and Tank is a massive fight, and it's gonna happen sooner than later.
On that note, thank you everybody for joining us today.
I want to thank you all for coming and covering this fight, and I particularly want to thank the MGM for being such great hosts. There's something magic about doing a fight at the MGM.
Yeah, and I want to thank Bob for giving me the opportunity. Thank you to Top Rank. They've treated me so well. They did a tremendous job with the promotion, and I'm excited to see what's next.
Hey, good night, enjoy.